So if you're struggling with that dreaded over the top move where that club really travels from the outside, that club really goes outside you, cut across that golf ball, big slices, big pulls, well, in this video, I'm gonna help you out because I'm gonna show you 3 reasons to why your over the top happens, and of course, a fix for all those 3 reasons as well. So I'm Jonathan Chown with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So reason number 1 to why you are swinging over the top, and that is your upper body in transition. So moving into the downswing is far too active in its rotation. So if I get up to the top of the backswing here, let's say I'm in a good spot, and let's say now I'm really gonna rotate that upper body very hard. You're gonna see straight away that club is gonna travel way on the outside there. Now why that happens is because when we rotate in the downswing, our hands will follow where our rotation goes. So if we rotate very hard with the chest to start off with, the hands and the arms will naturally go out in front of us, so will the club, causing an out to in path. So to be able to fix this problem here, we need to make sure that the chest isn't rotating too much in transition. Now we want the chest to rotate in the golf swing, but we want that chest to be rotating a little bit later in the swing. Really at around kind of mid to late downswing is when we really want that chest to start firing through the golf ball. Definitely not at the start, because rotation is a very, very good thing in our golf swing, but we just want to make sure that in the downswing it's happening at the right sequence, because certainly the chest is going first, that's not the right sequencing. We need the lower body and mid-torso to be rotating, separating first. So that kind of term separation in the downswing, this is what that is. So where the chest is staying very passive, it's going to be with my zipper or my microphone here pointing at you guys, whilst lower body, mid-torso is rotating there. And then naturally, it is going to pull my chest through that ball in its rotational movement. And that is going to be straight away getting your club naturally falling on path without you trying. Now, I have a brilliant way for you to fix this. Now, this is essentially 2 drills here, one without a golf ball, one with a golf ball. So let's show you the one without a golf ball. It's a really, really cool drill. If you've watched some of my other over the top videos on my channel, you've seen this already, but it's cool, I like it. So what you do, you stand, let's imagine this is a wall, my netting here. So I stand about half a club's distance away from the wall with the wall behind me. That does change depending on the height of your body in general. So now I'm going to get up to the top of my swing. So actually I need to scoot a little bit closer. So top of my swing here, you can see I just want that club to be touching the wall. So now if my upper body gets too overactive, see how it disconnects from the wall. So what our goal is here is to rotate lower body, rotate mid-torso, same time, but let that club slide down the wall. Now when that club is sliding down the wall here, that's making sure, as you can see with my chest, it's not rotating too early. So then when we get around, you know, almost to just past left arm parallel, you can see that's when the club detaches from the wall and we turn round with our body there. We don't want to do this by dropping the trail shoulder down to keep the club on the wall. That will get you swinging more on the inside. That will fix your over the top, but you'll have a whole host of other problems doing that. You'll probably play way worse. You'll be wishing that over the top came back if you did it. So we want to be sliding it down, turning the rest of our body, making sure we're just now turning through that golf ball after that with the chest there. Of course, if it's a brick wall, don't damage your club. Just do it with the grip end, give you the exact same feeling. So if you get a bunch of those, you can do that at home, of course. You can do that on the driving range, depending on your driving range bay situation, or depending on where you are. Maybe you're near a wall, for example. At home's the best place to practice that. Now, simple drill here, but can be very challenging. We're gonna get an alignment stick, stick it out the ground here to where it's about 45-degree angle or so. We want this ball here, so we're going to hit a ball doing this to be around half a club's distance in front, or you can say the stick is half a club's distance behind the golf ball, and then from that point of the half club's distance, another half in front there. So now I've done a lot of those, I can now feel that, okay, I want my chest to be more passive. You can see if I do that, I'm not going to hit the stick, because if I get too overactive with my upper body, bang, I'm going to hit the stick there. So it's going to give me a lot of feedback, that's for sure. So if I swing underneath this, the entire swing, keep my chest passive, we're all good to go here. So that's really going to create a much more, inside orientated swing, a little bit more of a draw pattern. If you wanted to have an extra feel as well, feel like your chest, as you're coming down, is pointing at the wall or someone behind you for as long as you can. That'll be getting your sequencing in there so that chest doesn't open up too fast. So reason number 2 of swinging over the top is you are losing your shoulder tilt at the top of the backswing, where your left shoulder raises up to where they get quite flat. And then as a reaction in the downswing, your left shoulder goes back down again. So this is called the loss and the regain of shoulder tilt. So like we say there, left shoulder raising up at the top of the backswing. Now, because that golf ball's on the ground, I've got to regain my shoulder tilt, because if I don't, I'm going to miss the golf ball or I'm going to top it. So my body will always reorganize its tilt. It will always want to be tilted towards that golf ball. So you can see if that left shoulder raises up in the backswing, it drops down again in the downswing. You can see that club is going to be thrown over the top there. Now, it doesn't always have to look quite as extreme as I'm doing here. This is an extremely common over the top reason that isn't discussed really anywhere at all, other than on my videos occasionally. We'll see golfers even sometimes doing this a little bit, just a little bit, and then their body will always want to regain their tilt again, and look, that club will always just get thrown over the top. It will travel a bit steep going down as well. So a move we really do not want to be doing. So again, 2-part fix to this, because we want to be making sure the left shoulder is staying down on its tilt. Then there's no reason that left shoulder is staying down for it to continue to go down, because the going down again, this problem is all a reaction. But if our left shoulder is already down, boom, we just stay down. It will naturally stay down. The club will now be moving on a very good path there. So like we said, 2 fixes, again, 2 drills to do for this. Now, because there's one without a golf ball, one with a golf ball. So our one without a golf ball here, ultra simple drill that probably most of you have actually already done. Probably a lot of you did when you started playing golf. It's almost a drill you do with a lot of beginner golfers, but even to people like Rory McIlroy does this drill. So, you know, a drill that you can do as a beginner, drill you can do as a top professional as well. So what we do, we get into golf posture. Now we set up with the club, ideally over our shoulders there, but it's over my chest because I don't want to hit the microphone. So now we want to turn with our upper body, our lower body, just get a full turn and have that club pointing down towards the golf ball. So if this butt end of the club here points towards the golf ball, now my shoulders are in good tilt. But let's say if I did the bad move, I move that left shoulder up, so you can see it's pointing right away from me, then what's going to happen in the downswing? That, which if the club's in my hand, over the top's going to happen. So we want that butt end of the club pointing at the golf ball and then turn through. Points it at the ball, turn through. If we want even more feedback for that, again, let's use the wall. So we can get, instead of standing with your back to it, we stand with our front to it. Same distance, half a club's distance. Again, will change depending on your body makeup. So golf posture again. Now let's turn. Butt end of the club pointing down. I'm going to miss the wall. So if I now turn with my left shoulder going up, see, I'm going to hit the wall straight away. I just want to turn and I want to miss that wall as I'm turning. As soon as I lift it up, yep, I'm going to lose my shoulder tilt and I'll have to regain it. So turn back, turn through, just missing that golf ball or missing that net. So what we do here with the drill with the golf ball, exactly the same thing as we did before. So stick out the ground, a nice 45-degree angle, and again, we're going to have it about half a club's distance behind the golf ball and then half a club's distance from that spot. And when we make this drill harder, let's say you get quite good at it and you want to make it harder, do this with a golf ball. Put it more and more and more underneath the stick. But let's make it pretty easy for this because I don't want to hit this on camera. So what we've got to do here, right, last time we were thinking of the chest pointing a little bit back as we're doing this. This time, we're going to just be thinking and feeling like our left shoulder is pointing down towards the golf ball whilst we're swinging through this shot. So ideally, we could be in between shots here. Get that left shoulder to point at the golf ball, club across the shoulders for a few reps. A couple of practice swings, feeling that same thing again. Now let's get to the golf ball, hit it, miss that stick. We won't be swinging over the top. So if we can do that, if this is our problem, losing tilt, regaining it, doing that drill as well with the little drills away from the golf ball we'll be fixing that problem for sure. So reason number 3 to why you're swinging over the top is when you're getting to the top of the backswing, you do not have enough depth to your hands at the top of the backswing, resulting in an over the top golf swing. So what this is, when I swing up to the top of my swing without too much depth to my hands at the top, what that means is my hands are not behind me enough. So depth just means with our hands at the top, the more depth we have, the more behind us our hands are, the less depth we have to our hands, the more on top of our body it is. So why that causes an over the top golf swing when we have a lack of depth of our hands, so that meaning on top of our body, is because when I'm swinging down the downswing, you will start to rotate. Rotation is a massive element in the golf swing, like we said at the beginning there. So if I rotate, even with good sequencing here, even with my chest being passive, if I have a lack of depth, those hands are going to automatically travel a little bit on the outside. So we could see from there that will definitely create you to cut across the golf ball. So what we want to do instead of having a lack of depth at the top, we need more depth, because ultimately, other than the lack of depth there's nothing we're doing wrong in the downswing from that. It's just what will happen to our club with a lack of depth. So let's get more depth with those hands a little bit more behind us, so more depth. Now, when we rotate in the downswing, the club's going to naturally fall on path. Now, I've experienced with a lot of over-the-top golfers who have been swinging over the top for so long and they have no clue about their depth. They come to a lesson, they're swinging with no depth, and then 5 minutes later, they've got depth. Their over the top that they've been trying to fix for could be 30 or more years has changed in that quick space of time. If this is your problem, it will just go just like that. Obviously enough practice getting the depth to ingrain it in there, but you'll see the result straight away if this is your problem there. So how do we get that more hand depth at the top of the backswing? We get into this nice position here and then let the club fall on path. Now, ultimately, we're going to do a brilliant drill here with a golf bag, and that's really going to force us into the position, but we need to know how to do this naturally. So again, this is all about your body's rotation in the golf swing, but instead of the downswing, the backswing. But like we said in the downswing, why lack of depth is a problem? It's because when we rotate from that position in the downswing, even in good sequence, hands are going to be chucked out in front of us. Hands follow our body's rotation. So if that means going more out in the downswing, that'll mean in the backswing going more in, because we're rotating away. So you can imagine if we're freeing up our turn in the backswing, the hands are going to get a lot deeper back here. We're going to get a lot freer of a hand movement back there. Now, when I see players who do struggle with a lack of depth, it's normally because they're trying to resist their lower body in the backswing. So by that, I mean they are trying to not rotate their hips, because that was a very popular thing in golf instruction around 10 to 15 years ago, was resisting that lower body. But if we don't rotate that lower body, we're only then going to be able to rotate as much as our upper body can go. We'll get a lot of back pain as well from that, from all the twisting and tension that goes into there. So if we're only rotating to the amount our upper back can rotate, then our hands and arms are going to be quite active. They're going to be lifting up at our swing there, to the top of our swing. So we need that lower body to start to turn, free up its movement, because the more our lower body turns, the more our upper body's going to turn. That means our hands are going to get deeper as well. So we need to free up that turn. So let's do a drill here along with that good hip turn to be able to get us and force us into this position. So we need an alignment stick, we need a golf bag. So we balance our alignment stick in kind of like a little slot for the golf clubs. But if you're using a stand bag, you just kind of balance it along your driver head cover there. So I've got this just out the bag. Now, what we can see, if I turn up to the top of my swing with a lack of depth, I'm most likely going to hit this stick. So what I'm going to do, just like the purpose of the other drills we did with the alignment stick, I want to swing, I want to turn my hips as I'm swinging, turn my body. Now you can see I'm nowhere near hitting that alignment stick. But again, if I go too vertically up, I'm going to hit this stick. Yet again, to make this harder, we put it more underneath, or we can make the angle of this a little bit more vicious, a little bit more, down in this area. So let's start it easy to start off with, because again, I don't want to hit it on camera. So what we're going to do, just swing, turn those hips nicely, miss this stick, we're going to get more depth, less over the top. And you can see from there, you have a much more inside path there. So again, let's really get this, really make sure you're getting this turn, because if we're not getting the turn and doing this drill, we're going to be pulling the hands and arms in. That's going to make your right arm get stuck behind your pivot. then that's going to result in a stall out of rotation through the golf ball. So we really want to be making sure we're turning our body doing this, because it's going to help with a hell of a lot of things, doing it naturally, not forcing, and with manipulation. So again, let's swing through and have a look. So guys, those are 3 reasons to why you swing over the top and 3 fixes for them as well. And just like if you've watched a lot of my videos, we have to understand the reason why we're doing something to be able to fix it there. It's no good just doing, let's say, the alignment stick drills when we don't know the actual reason to why we're doing the problem. If you really follow this, you're going to be really fixing it. But there is more reasons to why you swing over the top. And in the course of the next couple months, I'm going to be making a new course on how to stop your over the top golf swing, where there'll be pretty much every single root cause for that over the top golf swing will be in there with a fix for them all, just like this, explain it through how you've got to practice to be able to do this and successfully make the change in there as well. So in the coming months, there's going to be this course that's going to come out. Before that, there will be the rotation course, everything you need to know about rotation in the downswing, how to get it into your swing, all that type of good stuff in there. So be patient for that, because those are coming very, very soon. So if you like this video, found it helpful, of course, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So let's fix that over the top for good.